Hello, welcome to Star Power Alchemy YouTube. My name is Alejandra Sofia and I'm a soul level astrologer. Tuning in to the LIBRA new moon, September 28th, 2019, which is today. I apologize for my delay to all my dedicated watchers and followers, subscribers. About a week ago, I had a severe pinched nerve along my spine. It's still happening, and acute pain and much limitation, physical limitation, which delayed my efforts, my plans this week. So again, my apologies. Here we go. The LIBRA new moon. So we're in the fresh energy right now, and with this new moon having 4 personal planets in the sign of Libra, which I pronounce Libra for anyone new who's listening to me. We have 4 planets in Libra, 2 planets in Capricorn, and 1 planet in Aries. And those are all cardinal signs. So this new moon, this next month ahead, in this lunar wave cycle, in this seed point of the new moon from September 28th until October 27th, which is the Scorpio new moon, it's a rich time of cardinal energy, and cardinal energy is an initiating energy. It wants to move forward. It wants to get things started. And elementally, we have an air element of cardinality, which is relational, and a fire element, which is also relational, cardinally. So starting, and then on an earth level, so on practical levels, starting something. And especially now, one of the key things with this month ahead and this new moon seed point is that this is the first new moons in about 3 months in which Saturn is now direct. So Saturn has moved direct. So it's time to move forward. That's the meaning of it. It's time to move forward with plans because something is understood. Enough time has passed. An understanding has come to pass that allows one to move forward with a clear plan. It doesn't mean you know everything right now, but you have enough. Something has coalesced in which whatever plans on whatever levels and in any area of life is allowing you to move forward with new understanding, with a deeper sense of authority. We're definitely in a key time of confronting authority and truth, and on a personal soul level, it's the toppling. We're in a toppling of inner power structures, of an inward infrastructure that is holding us in disempowerment, so we can come into our empowerment, to our creativity, and become a deliberate creator, become a conscious creator of your reality, and in that being in a co-creative relationship with the universe, with existence. And so with Saturn moving direct and any personal work that's been done these last few months with Saturn retrograde through the summertime, if you've been listening to my videos since the beginning of the year, I've been speaking to this time of September of, just hold off, wait, things are going to get clear. September, October will be the time to move forward, and into whatever capacity that might mean to you, in terms of coming into a deeper understanding with intuition, inward, and those are the key lessons that we're undergoing this year of coming into a deeper relationship with oneself that allows you to rise to your own possibility, and allow you to open up to a greater capacity. So with the new moon in Libra, we have 4 planets in the sign of Libra, this air cardinal energy that is very relational, and Libra has a catalyticness to it. It catalyzes. It kind of sizzles with energy. It's very transformationally oriented. The more higher vibrational Libran energy is engaging, and it is a key sign that is undergoing the authentication process. So this is a month of self-authentication, and with all this cardinal energy. And one of the key aspects that we have with the new moon is Chiron in an opposition, in a really sharp opposition. Chiron, the wounded healer. And Chiron's in the sign of Aries, which it just fully went into earlier this year. It started going into it last year. And so any sign that Chiron is in, there's deep issues of the purpose of Chiron is to bring consciousness, and it's to bring holistic consciousness, because Chiron carries a understanding of the universe and how the universe works. And when you unlock Chiron in yourself, you unlock a lot of mysteries, and a lot of those mysteries can be solved through the understanding of the energy body and what the human energy body is, and what it is to be in a right relationship with one's own body, mind, temple. And so when I say body, mind, it's the physical, mental, emotional, where the spiritual can weave through. So Chiron is your energy body. It's your multi-dimensional energy body. And so with the Libra and new moon in opposition to that, and Uranus also making a key aspect to the Libra new moon by quincunx. So with oppositions, the opposition is most strongly, all the aspects are about coming deeper into consciousness, but there's a way we have to stretch out in an opposition. With the opposition, when you're playing out an opposition where it's this versus that, and one gets discounted over the other, in the evolutionary aspect, in the highest vibration of the opposition, it's an encompassing, it's an allowing, it's a knowing how to do both sides now. And so there's a lot of projection on the more lower vibrational expressions of the oppositions, is feelings of separation and projection. And when one is coming into a higher vibration with oppositions, there's an encompassing, a stretching out, a being able to grok all sides of a situation, and also engaging yourself. So just to keep it in the territory of selfhood, is to be able to encompass yourself on a deeper level and not discount yourself, and also will also affect how you're relating to the world. How you're, if you're relating to the world open-heartedly, or if you're, allowing yourself, accepting only certain parts of existence and shutting down other parts of existence. And so I'm speaking much to this right now because of the energy of Chiron. With Chiron coming in an exact, a 2-degree opposition with the new moon energy. This is a key month of, what I feel here is this coming into a new level of understanding of your own magical powers, of that it's magical to be in a human body, and what that can do for you relationally if you're regarding yourself on a more magical level and understanding on an ever deeper level how this reality really works. Because the higher vibrational aspects of what Saturn and Pluto are doing right now in Capricorn is they're breaking open, dissolving, they're breaking open and breaking down the infrastructure that has been the powers that be on the planet that have served to condition people, large groups of people, and the karmas of this earth, and the karmas of the last few thousand years, in which power structures have been, and the story of power and how it's been playing out on the planet, that we can see in our history books. It's all around us, and being played out in society. And so there's this important journey that each and every one of us is up against and deeply a part of when you come into this earth existence, to play this part, to play this game, to be in the living dream. And with Chiron and Aries, it's a time that we're in which we're here to rewire our masculinity and to come into a higher vibrational with our masculinity, because Chiron's in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. And so in the masculinity, what Mars is, what Aries is coming into true freedom and true autonomy, into true independence. And it's not an adolescent independence that discounts other things and discounts parents or discounts institutions. It's the independence that comes with the true independence, where you can think for yourself and then understand what it is to be in an interdependence with the universe and with Earth and all the relationships. Because if you really look at it, where this whole existence, this whole earthly existence is nothing but relationships. It's like, and maybe I think that that's probably really true. It's all relationship everywhere we look, and even the relationship of selfhood and coming into a deeper relationship with oneself. But even just to take it down to the body level, like your relationship with your hands, your relationship with your hair, your relationship with your feet, your own relationship to your body, and so then starting to take it out, your relationship to food, your relationship to your activity, all these relationships. It's like we're in your relationship to your dreams when you're sleeping, we're inundated in relationships. And so what I see here for this month is a really powerful, potentially, where I feel that many people are getting it. That's how I feel. I feel like there's a lot of people who've been in terms of who've been working on themselves, people that are wanting to move to a higher vibrational and energy with themselves, with their own creative abilities. I feel that there's going to be a really powerful understanding of this month that is going to potentially really, we're leveling up. We're leveling up. That's what's happening. We're leveling up, and people are believing in themselves more and more. The how the universe works, it's being understood that it's not what we were taught. It's not what our baby boomers parents taught us, and it's not the educational system. If you're matriculated through an educational system that was not teaching you in a holistic way, like a Waldorf system education that is teaching the whole child, these kinds of ideologies, if they're all the conditioning of who you really are, it feels that this is a month with the sign of Libra, because the sign of Libra is about coming out into visibility, really coming into right relationship with yourself and your relationships, with your relationship with the world. So let's look at the sign of Libra as right relationship, and what it also takes for you in terms of finding your truth and really understanding who you are and expressing who you are in your relationships. And so that Libra is a sign in which when it's not in charge of itself, it's really lost. It's one of the I would give that as the main sign in which lostness happens. I mean, we all the signs have their way of being lost, for sure. And Libra's one of the key places. Like I would say, in just terms of looking at the zodiac, like Libra's a sign in which those were a key turnaround. That's what's really going to shift things when self understands who self is and can express itself in a relationship, relationally, and really come out into the open. And so what I feel here is that we're really, as we enter into 2020, and this is the final quarter. This is the final quarter of the year, with now being fully in the autumn season. And it's the fourth quarter of the year. Each season is comprised of 3 months, so we literally are in the fourth quarter. And 2020, we're really going to be, we're really going to be in some powerful new arenas in 2020 and beyond. And there's a lot of change coming in. And so what you do for yourself now in this fall is you're powering up inwardly, claiming the territory that's yours to claim, making these plans that are for you to make because they're from you, changing your relationship with time, releasing time as money, and therefore creating your reality unconsciously through a subtle negativity of worry, nervousness, or just disempowerment, not true power. It might feel like it's powerful, but it's not. Like, to really come into your power and to really come into a centeredness, is to really land in your inner earth and in this this deep experience of beingness, that it lands you in your birthright, that you belong no matter what. So there's an overcoming that I feel in this new moon. There's a lot of overcoming, a lot of getting it, a lot of like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to get more involved in the ways that I want to get involved. And so with all this Libra energy, there's a strong, because the Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is in its own sign of Libra this new moon. It's a powerful time for coming out into your relationships more, into arenas, into social arenas in ways that are really true for you, or coming out in new ways, because Venus is in an exact sextile with Jupiter, and sextile is a well-working relationship. So it is about coming out into expansive circles in new creative ways, in artistic ways, expressing yourself, getting involved more artistically in things that really interest you, and coming into deeper collaboration, and it is going to require stepping out in new ways to up level. And so I feel that this is a month in which we're up leveling. I mean, we've been gradually up leveling as it is, but this month feels, because of all the cardinal energy, we're clearing. So that's the thing with cardinal energy. It can be a clearer, like a detoxer, and so it's like, okay, we're clearing, and then the fixed energies come in, and they layer, they settle, and they go deeper. But so the swooshing, there's a swoosh, a clear, a streamlining with cardinal energy, and so it's a really sizzling month that feels exciting in some ways, and that's going to clear the plate for the new future that wants to roll in. And so one of the aspects to this month is that with Saturn now moving direct, it's in the new moon chart. I am looking at the chart here. In the new moon chart, Saturn is sextile Neptune. So it's basically saying here, I'm going to just kind of go into this, the Saturnian mind, the archetypal Saturn here, that Saturn's like, okay, I get my dreams. I'm getting what I need to do. I'm getting what I'm dreaming. I'm getting what I'm longing for, and I'm understanding I need to move in new ways, and that I'm understanding how to, I have more boundaries now. I have more, I know how to express myself more clearly in my relationships and with myself, because that's the primary relationship. As you come into clarity, not with your other relationships, but with yourself. And then how that expresses itself in relationships is understanding how to be in a right relationship, in communication, and active listening, deep listening, and then communicating, and then feeling heard and understood, and being willing to open to listening to someone's truth as someone else is able to listen to your truth, and there's a power there, there's a transformation there. And so I feel that with Saturn this next month, there's making new plans in relationships and collaboratively. Also, because Neptune yeah, moving forward, like it feels powerful to come into good relationships that are a part of the dream, a part of the desire of, and having clear boundaries of roles that you're playing. Because that Saturn in Capricorn is just really wanting to dot the I's and cross the T's and be thorough and leave no stone unturned. So in terms of being in a right relationship, you know, so it is, I'm tuning in here a little bit. So it is important to stretch yourself in new ways, and also important is to, what I see here, with there's a position that Mercury's in the chart. Mercury's conjunct a really powerful fixed star. It's at the 24th degree of Libra, and that is its own, that particular degree is very potent for coming into a new clarity in yourself. And one of the clarities that I feel is important to become clear with is your idea of what God is. Your idea of a greater power. And I feel that there's, I don't want to discount anybody's religion here. It's, you know, anyone's beliefs, but I do feel that it's important to have a rightful relationship with the greater, you know, what your concept of the greater is, universe, God. And if there's any way that you're disempowering yourself in that relationship, that's where I feel like, no, it's about understanding that you're a creature of this universe. You're a child of this universe. You're here to fully come into your godness and understand what it is to claim your godhood. And it's not a power that you hold over anyone else, because it's an equalizing field of like, wow, this is this magical realm of that consciousness is a godhood. Consciousness is an awareness that is within your ability as in this magical energy body. And so as you're coming into a right relationship with your power and how to use it well, how to use it with integralness. And so it, you know, coming into teachings, into ancient wisdom teachings that honors the earth, that honors each other, that does express love for one another. It's not a divisive, it's not a divisive spirituality, but is all inclusive. It doesn't hold one people lower than the other. And that's part of where I feel this advancement that's happening in the world, at least in parts of the world, where there's this real leveling up and an equalizing field that I'm seeing also in politics as well, like the things that are getting revealed and the level that social media is allowing this field to get equalized. Like our voices, individuals' voices are more powerfully heard than ever before in history. In the history of the earth as in recorded history. So because of technology, because of what's available, like we're really, the rules are changing. The rules are changing, and these last 10 years we've been making massive adjustments with what's been put out into the world of the collective in terms of technology and communication and information. And that's, I know, pretty confident that's not the first time you've ever heard this concept, because it's so talked about everywhere. If you're staying up to date, you know, with information, you understand that. And so I feel that that's part of what these moments that we're in this fourth quarter of the second decade. We're in the end of we literally are in the end of the second decade of the 21st century. 2020, January 1st, it's the next decade. That's what January 1st, 2020 is. It's the it's the first day of the third decade of the 21st century. And there's a potency there, much potency, which even the year itself, 2020, speaks to. It's got the number 22 in there, and that's a master number. So, and that's where I feel a lot of people are freeing up. A lot of people are getting what it is to be a creative being, and to, you know, speaking up in many ways. Like, speaking up isn't necessarily getting out there and being an activist. There's many ways to be an activist at the forefront of activism. So you are a change agent, and things are calling you right now. Your leading edge is everywhere. And you honing in on what your leading edge is, where understanding the art of letting go. So part of this energy right now, so I've been speaking to this cardinal energy and Chiron and Aries, and with Chiron and Aries, I can look at, like, okay, so Aries is ruled by Mars. Where's Mars in this new moon chart? And it's in Virgo. So nothing else of the planets is in Virgo. Last month we were full of Virgo, and now this month we have only one planet in Virgo. And what's happening with Mars in Virgo is learning the art of spiritual athleticism. So there's a spiritual fitness, learning the art of spiritual fitness. And in that art is the art of letting go, and a sense of the immediacy. Like, every moment there's a play-by-play, right? Now, and there's constant change happening, whether you're conscious of it or not. That change is ever unfolding, and who Mars is as this change agent, as your masculine drive, and at the heart of Mars is the drive for autonomy, the drive to cut right through things and not be in domination, submission relationships. It's to come into right relationship with your power and how to use your power, how to direct your power. So in it, Mars is really transformational oriented. Mars doesn't want to play these old games anymore of fight and flight and freeze, these old survival games, and that have been very much a part of. Mars wants to get out of the survival mechanism. Mars wants to get out. It wants to be in its own autonomy. So, and in that, again, the spiritual fitness is to know how to let go of what you need to let go of. So it's knowing how to process your emotions. And that's how Mars and the moon work together. They work together as you're maturing and understanding how to, how to be an emotional person in a way that you don't want to cut yourself off from your emotions. You want to know how to be in your emotions, but you don't want to spend all this time in unnecessary emotions, too much time in shame, or too much time in guilt, too much time in anger, too much time, that's part of what Mars really wants to be like. Okay, I'm angry. How do I process this? What is the spiritual meaning of this for me? Or what's my leading edge? What is the deeper meaning of this? That's actually what Mars is doing. What's the deeper meaning of this? What do I need to understand? Instead of getting caught in the emotions and just filled up without getting conscious about it, right? So that's where there's a real with Chiron in opposition to the new moon, it's this understanding of how to work with your energy body. How do I work with my emotions? How do I work with this and all that? And I got all these threads of your life that are constantly pulling at you emotionally. It's all there emotionally. Like, where are you at emotionally? So if you know the symbol for Mars, it's a symbol for male. You can look at it as a compass needle. Mars is constant. It's like a compass needle. Like, where's my compass? Where's my compass? And if you're coming into a higher vibration with your compass, you have to learn the art of letting go of, like, okay, I'm spinning where I just spun off here, and I went into an eddy and started stagnating and started creating this negative negative drama in my reality, or, you know, just the places where you've typically gotten stuck in emotionally. And as you're evolving and shifting and changing and learning how to clear out and streamline your energy and know how to get off of a negative stream and onto a positive stream. So that's part of what this month is about, is like really getting how to get on that new track that's a more productive track. It's a more creative track, instead of spending your time unconsciously in this eddy, circling and getting nowhere, you know, just like, oh yeah, I've been here, but I've been here. This is where I've been. So part of that drama could be just not feeling good enough, you know, that kind of like creating, steering your vessel into a positive stream, like, enough with this, I'm not good enough. That's part of the spiritual fitness, is understanding, having these places in you becoming visible. So that's in this new moon chart. We have we've got a key opposition that has to do with getting ever more clear about where you've been disempowering yourself, or where you're holding negativity. You know, so if you point that sword of intuition into your psychology and just get real with yourself in a way that's healing, it's healing to your life, of like, I spend so much time and this is negative, or just even understanding like, oh my God, that's negativity. Now I understand that's the negative stream. Oh, that's, you know, and then switching. So that's part of this spiritual fitness earth curriculum apprenticeship that we're in. If you want to be get on board with that, it's just understanding that, getting clear with, right, I'm learning how to use my powers, I'm learning how to be this human being, and understanding that I am created, I am this amazing blueprint of creation, that's carrying this template it's just extraordinary. It's just really an extraordinary experience, and being me is extraordinary, and it's temporary. Being me is extraordinary, and it's temporal. So, and I don't know how much time I have, and not to go down any negative threads there, negative streams, but it's just to be like, to come into wakefulness. So this is where Uranus is in a quincunx to the sign, to the new moon, and Uranus is the awakener. Uranus is consciousness. And so the more you can simplify your life in a way that is greatly beneficial to you, in a way that is soothing to you, in a way that allows you to sink into your sensual reality and just slow down, I believe that is extremely important. With Uranus in the early degrees of Taurus, is like learning how to slow down. Especially, again, we are maturing through this age of technology that has really hit us strongly, you know, since 2007 and 2008, with the iPhones and the iPad coming out. You know, we didn't have the iPhone 15 years ago. And so now we've had an iPhone out here in the collective and available for everyone, and it's completely changed the world, right? That's just one example of something that has changed how we relate to each other. And so I believe that we're coming into a maturity with that, and we've had 10 years, 10, 12 years to come into our relationship with it. And so that's an example of, and I think you can find many examples of your own examples of where it's like learning how to simplify and relax more and reduce. There's a theme of reduction, in taking up a philosophy of minimalism in some area of your life, and because the lower vibration aspect of Taurus can be an accumulating, and really materialistically oriented. And so with Uranus in the early degrees of Taurus, it really wants to heal that, clear that, and come into more wakeful relationship with materialism, to really come in to get to the real goods, goods of well-being that live inwardly, to really come into the deeper channels of your being and connect with that. And so that's where meditation is essential. These inner quadrants, connect. And so that's where I feel too, if you don't have any kind of meditation practice or connecting practice, where in the morning time, in a time where you're just a little more disconnected from ordinary wakeful reality, and that's where morning time is a pretty great time to connect in with other levels of reality, and most importantly, your inner domains, and create a deeper relationship with your intuition, and so that you can listen to what creation is telling you, and regard yourself. And the more you can regard yourself as an understanding that you have these abilities, and that is what intuitive wisdom is a direct channel to creation. And that is the autonomy. That is what true autonomy is. And again, these deep channels of intuition, these inward instructions, they're important to listen to and not to be misunderstood. So that's where, holding yourself in some kind of ancient wisdom practice and some sort of checking methodology that is important too. So ways to check yourself spiritually, and in terms of like checking in with compassion, checking in with empathy, checking in with reverence for life, and just check, so it's not like this false autonomy, but and that's that's where I feel like that's where there is spiritual confusion of what real autonomy can be. And I don't really want to go off too much, but where people go rogue in a negative way, I'll just leave it there. People go rogue in a negative way and actually think that that's empowerment, and it's not. So yeah, I'm going to leave that there and mention as well, if you're still with me, thank you so much. We've got Pluto stationing and getting ready to go direct. And so then everything I've said is speaking to that. Everything I've already said is speaking to that. It's about we're going to be claiming our power on deeper levels, and claiming our creativity, and we're going to be getting it. I feel that, we're seeing that. And I'm excited for this month. So we've got a full moon in Aries on October 13th. And so there'll be more to come there. I hope to get my video out much sooner than I did for this new moon. So for everyone who's watching still, thank you, wishing you much love, and I will see you real soon. Thanks.